Morning, you're watching Your Day Today. I'm Gargi Rao. This is the show to start your day with. Ndtv continues to focus on the Bhopal verdict and the reactions which are coming. Joining us ahead on the show, Tony Millard. He's an activist for the International Campaign for Justice in Bhopal, and he'll be joining us from Chicago. Vikram joins us from Chandigarh as there's more shame for the Haryana police, another molestation charge. And don't forget to track our Monsoon Express. Ketki joins us from Mangalore as she chases the rain. Well, first, our top story, the Bhopal verdict, justice not done. Now, the Bhopal disaster verdict has sparked off reactions of shock and anger across the political spectrum. But as Radhika Bordia now reports, what happened in the 26 years leading up to what many have called a mockery of justice is also a baffling story of how successive governments of both the BJP and the Congress failed the victims of the world's worst industrial disaster.
It's a matter of deep anguish for me personally. It's taken so long. The verdict clearly very unsatisfactory from every point of view.
Many new facts have themselves come to light.
Bewildering comments by our top leaders in the aftermath of a judgment entirely predictable in what was a watered-down case of criminal negligence against 8 carbide officials. If any of this newfound concern and anguish is genuine, can we 26 years later expect the government to give answers to what seems like its own complicity in the tragedy? Here are just some of the haunting questions. Why did Arjun Singh, the Chief Minister, defy all warnings and evidence that a disaster was imminent and assure the Assembly that he had personally inspected the carbide plant and there was no problem, just months before the gas leak? Why was Warren Anderson, the chief of Union Carbide, given the Chief Minister's own aircraft to leave India just 4 days after the leak and with a charge of 304A against him when he was simply out on bail? On the same day, Anderson flew out of the country, never to be brought to trial. Today, both the Congress and the BJP governments claim that they tried to extradite Warren Anderson. There's little evidence of that. More damning, a claim from a former CBI official who says the Foreign Office told him not to pursue the matter.
We received a communication from External Affairs Ministry that we should not pursue the extradition matter of Warren Anderson.
So when was this communication given to you? It was a written communication?
It was written communication, received some time. I don't recall at what time during my tenure. It is 16 years back.
Why did the government accept the Supreme Court settlement with Union Carbide for just $470 million? Money not enough to compensate even a fraction of its victims. Why did the Digvijay Singh government allow Carbide to return the land with tons of toxic waste still on it, when the lease clearly said that the land had to be returned in its original condition? Today, with Carbide back in India as Dow Chemicals, the government seems keen to exonerate Dow from its liabilities in the Bhopal gas tragedy. For one, the Congress spokesperson is the counsel for Dow. In fact, he excused himself from speaking on the last anniversary of the disaster and was not available for comment, but this was a defense offered by his colleague.
Well, there are people wear different professional hats.
But with 20,000 dead and lakhs continuing to suffer, those fighting for justice say the Congress and BJP leaders will have to come up with stronger answers, if not action.
The Bhopal verdict has been hitting headlines across the world as well, and angry reactions coming in. Many see this as a case not just of justice delayed, but also justice not delivered. And overwhelmingly, the international media holds the Indian government and judiciary responsible for the travesty.
Horrified reactions to the judgment in the Bhopal gas tragedy in the British media. The Times London said, nor has the US emerged with great honour, blocking India's requests to extradite Warren Anderson, the elderly former chairman of the Indian subsidiary, leaving the prosecution with only local managers to pursue, but with the greatest censure should fall on the Indian government itself.
Although Britain has never faced a disaster on this scale, they significantly tightened their corporate manslaughter laws just a few years ago, recognizing the need to hold companies accountable and make sure that they operate in the safest manner possible.
In US reports, it's the Indian legal system that comes in for most criticism. The New York Times says Indian courts are notoriously slow. The Times Online goes a step further, claiming the Bhopal verdict shows that